Habari Gani. You should do that every morning. It's your official Kwanzaa greeting. Habari Gani literally translated means, what's the news?
Facing the rising sun, how long you begun, let us march on till victory is won.
The beauty of seeing the Village Project children sing. I actually grew up, born and raised in the Western Addition, and going to Booker T. Washington from the age of 2 to maybe the age of 16. What was so beautiful about growing up in this neighborhood, in this family, in this culture, children, regardless of where we were, what our economic statuses were, where our mothers were, where our daddies were, we had grandparents all throughout the neighborhood. Elders, am I right?
Ashai.
So the children who went to Pink School, the children who went to Ella Hill Hutch, the children who went to every single daycare center throughout this neighborhood, there was an idea during the 80s where little children understood this idea of unity. Little children understood this idea of Kwanzaa. Little children throughout this neighborhood gathered in song, and I am a part of that tradition, and I'm so happy to be here years later. Understanding, right? Understanding that this idea of Umoja, understanding that unity, thank God, we still have it.
Adrian and I have come through so many different aspects and trials. You know, just keeping it real, because when you do the work, you're not always in one accord and you're not always in agreement, but the true test of being committed to the community means that you work past that for the good of the community. You don't make it personal, you don't make it about your own agendas. And to me, what Adrian has done tonight really speaks to her commitment to Umoja. The idea of unity and bringing people together. What she's done over the past 5 years is commitment to educating a people and uniting a people and bringing not just the Western Addition, but the city of San Francisco and the Bay Area together around the principles of Kwanzaa are to be commended.
I poured this water in honor of our ancestors. I call on those great Africans who started the march of mankind from the East African regions, the Great Lake regions. I call on those great Africans who would not submit to the kidnapping of kings and queens, who defended themselves against the slave traders. Shaka Zulu, say Ashai.
Ashai.
Sundiata, say Ashai.
Ashai.
Queen Nzinga, say Ashai.
Ashai.
We call them to come, strengthen us.
On behalf of the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services, I would like to thank everyone for attending the 5th annual Kwanzaa celebration.
Habari Gani.
When I was a little boy, my grandfather was a very old man when I was born, so he was actually born in 1898, my grandfather. He didn't have any education. And my grandfather would always say, "You are a smart kid. Go get your education." And I tell you that it was because of my grandfather, and honestly, truly, it was because of my grandfather that I did. I was the only person in my family to go to college. And I went to grad school. I went to grad school twice. I have 2 master's degrees. And I don't tell you that story to brag about this, but to tell you the power of when someone believes in you, how much you carry that in you to move forward.
Ashai?
Ashai.
All right. We're talking about the light, the knowledge, the wisdom that will help us to understand why we need to move forward. Whoever prescribes the diameter of your education, your intelligence, controls the circumference of your activity. Kwanzaa, when you set up your table, you first set up the Nkeka mat.
Libations is an African ritual. Water is being warmed by the love that is in my hands for our ancestors. You've been doing call and response all your life. When you're in church and the pastor say something that hits a nerve, what do you say? Amen. Amen. Shoot. You know, I mean, it's like, so be it. It is done. That's real.
So in lighting this, we have one of our children, our babies, and we guide them to the light. We guide them to lighting. Even if we say, I can light this myself. No, this is not about you lighting this yourself, son. This is not about you lighting this yourself, daughter. Otherwise, none of this matters. You can just have a birthday cake. Okay? To have a black family, Ashai? It ain't too cool to just be by yourself and say, I'm just gonna walk on the road alone. That's okay. Sometimes it takes that. Just like the bird had to learn to what? Flap his wings alone. He had to learn how to make it up to that mountaintop where his family was. And that is the point in your life. Why was he getting to the mountaintop? What was he going for? Going for his family. He's not going up there for himself. He had to get up there for himself to witness his family, right? So we're not in this alone, all by ourselves, in the corner, hiding behind something. We are with it as a unit, moving together. And sometimes we have to work alone because it shows the proof in what we are willing to do. Each person has to have a personal advantage in this. So father can't just be the only one. Mother can't just be the only one. Child can't be the only one. The family has to be that. Let's pull together. So what we're doing is we're reaching for all of the energy that we've created today, the ancestors that we've called on, and all
libations is the pouring out of liquid in honor of those people who have passed away. So when I say pour out water, you say Ashai. Ashai. And you would be speaking in African tongue. You could say Yibu.
Yibu.
You would be speaking the tongue of the Akan. You could say Hotep. You would be speaking in the language of the Metuneta. You could say Amen.
Amen.
You would also be speaking in African language.
Today, our topic in Kwanzaa is Ujima, which is collective work and responsibility.
In my hands are magic, each finger a tentacle, my heart a talisman, my heart a pentacle, the culmination of a life's work, my heart is the pinnacle. Don't get me wrong, I'm not naive.
Peace, but peace, what peace? My people find no peace of mind, my peace, my people. I am destined, clandestine, at college records, black invisible, balanced by shadowy thoughts, black out thought with black ink. Don't act quaint, quit your violent, kowtow, because being black no longer ain't what it used to be tangible now, so my body is small. Solid objects I pass through, I pass you as mist, morning dew on the grass, and the Ellison, transient, transparent mass, evil spirits of ass on street corners.
About Maggie Lena Walker. Everyone likes to talk about Madam C.J. Walker, the woman, of course, who did not invent the straightening comb, but was our first woman millionaire. But Maggie Lena started a bank for the descendants of slaves, the first generation descendants of slaves, called Penny Savings Bank. Penny Savings Bank existed in some form or another in Richmond, Virginia, until just a year ago. The foreclosure crisis and the banking crisis, this was basically one of the byproducts of it. But imagine a woman who was only moderately educated, with limited education, beginning a bank. Penny Savings Bank really spoke to what they were talking about. Save your pennies, and the dollars will create themselves. So I love talking about Maggie Lena.
That leads us to our celebration of Kuumba, creativity, leave the community a better place than you found it.
Red roses too. I see them blooming for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue, clouds of white, bright blessed day, dark sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of the people passing by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? But what they're really saying is, I love you. I hear babies cry, and I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than you and I will ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Take it out. I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Umoja is unity, and that's the way it should always be, to build and maintain the community and the foundation and community. Umoja,
Brothers and
sisters, we have been blessed with a new day.
In Nguzu Saba, the seventh principle in music, Umoja is unity, and that's the way it should always be. Kujichagulia is self-determination, you see, to define ourselves, name ourselves, create ourselves, and speak for ourselves. Ujima, collective work and responsibility, to build and maintain our community together. Your word is mine, our community. Let's take responsibility for our past and what our future's going to be. Ujamaa, cooperative economics. That money, man. To build and maintain our stores, shops, our businesses, getting profits, sharing profits, feeling mine. My word, your words, your by mine. Believe people come for profits, do. Power to the people, to the people. Need is purpose, like a little girl's day. To make our collective work, the lifting and building of our community. That's why our people can rise to our traditional greatness. We are social beings, so we must work together, our food. But need is purpose, so it's all good. Kuumba is creativity. To do always as much as you can in the way that you can. So the community we inherit is more lovely than it began. Imani is faith. We have to have that. To believe in our rights and our people, in our parents and our teachers too, and the righteousness of our struggle. Believe in the power of human. Selectively honor our leaders. Forever encourage the young with Imani, with faith. Y'all repeat after me. Umoja. Amen.
Habari Gani.
Imani.
Habari Gani.
Imani. When we pour libations into a glass and say the name of an ancestor, you recreate that person inside of you. When you respond in an African tongue, you become a part of the invitation for the ancestors to come and strengthen us, to join us in our event. Say Ashai.
Ashai. All right.
Say Ashai.
Ashai.
Say Amen.
Amen.
Say Hotep.
Hotep.
Say Ibu.
Ibu.
Oh, you're speaking African, y'all. Say Ashai. Say Ashai.
Then next, we come with the Kinara. Why do we come with the Kinara? To be fruitful, to have something that will hold our principles together. Huh? Ashai?
Ashai.
Talk black to me. So, after having something that will hold it, if you ain't got nothing in the bowl, does the bowl mean anything? No. You gotta have some stuff in the bowl. And these are principles. From unity to faith. And after that, then we begin to bring the fruit of our labor, mazao. And often what I say, this ain't, you know, a lot of people do it differently, but I always say, you know, bring some tropical fruits into the question. Did you know that tropical fruits are food for the melanin? That if you eat pineapples, and coconuts, and bananas, and papayas, and mangoes, and plantains, that it feeds your melanin? Did you know that? There's some things to know.
First of all, I want to say Habari Gani. Habari Gani.
Kuumba, Ujama.
Nia.
Nia for purpose. It's just really an honor to be here during Kwanzaa, which is a very important period for us as a people. And frankly, I think that Kwanzaa is useful if you're not African American, because what's wrong with, you know, Kuumba, creativity? I mean, that's something we need to lift up so much in our nation today. We're going to need to be creative to figure out how to get ourselves out of an economic quagmire that no one seems to be able to figure out. We've got to...
We are pleased that Adrian has always been by our side, as well as not just being by our side, being in front, but being center, and at times always covering our backs. So this young lady is a whirlwind, to say the least.
Precious